And one of the things I've gotten so much criticism of online was when I publicly shared a TikTok about firing somebody because I found out that she was cheating on her significant other, and the other person also had a significant other. And as soon as I found out about it, I terminated both of them immediately. And it's so shocking to people that,
Wait, someone was cheating with someone in the company?
yeah,
Oh, and they both had partners outside of the company?
both had partners outside of the company. And as soon as I caught wind of it, it wasn't even like a split second decision. Well, I guess it technically was a split second decision. It's like, I can't have this in my environment, especially somebody close around me. People trust me and should trust any leader to help them make their success easy. Am I making people's success easy by putting inside that environment people who are going to erode the values of the group? No. Success for most people isn't getting a divorce from their significant other. Success for most people looks like figuring out how to have the success in their professional lives and in their financial lives while also being able to have a spouse. I wouldn't want my husband going out to work and being in an environment where the company was just fine with people cheating on each other, lying to each other, and not having a code of ethics, doing drugs. Like, none of that is something that I want inside my environment, because it's my job to make people's success easy.
One would say that's none of your business what they're doing when they go home.
It is my business, first of all, because it was with each other.
Yeah, but they're not doing it at work.
Well, there was not to get into specifics of the particular event, but it happened to be around work related.
But if it wasn't at work, you still wouldn't
Even
make
if it was, I would fire the person immediately.
So you'd fire someone for cheating?
Absolutely.
On their partner?
Absolutely. I can't have cheaters. If they're going to cheat on the person that they're supposed to spend the rest of their life with, do you think that they're cheating on their work?
Listen, I get it. I understand it. She's basically saying she wants to cultivate an. Well, first of all, it sounds like she's trying to pivot a little bit, right? Because at first she was trying to say that, she needs to cultivate an environment that is conducive to people that want to promote people and create memories or even push the boundaries of what success is supposed to look like, and that you're invited to be great here, and so I'm cultivating an environment for that. Now she's pivoting the conversation to say that, well, if you're cheating on your spouse and a person that you're supposed to spend the rest of your life with, what makes you think that I don't think that you would cheat on your work or you would try to get ahead or struggle? Nah, I'm not. I'm not going. That doesn't make sense. How can you even prove that they were cheating? You see what I'm saying? How can you even prove that they were busting each other down or, whatever, so on and so forth? And I understand that most people are at will employees. And so, for the most part, you can pretty much get fired for anything from anybody. But this sounds maybe a little too evasive. You know what I'm saying? What if I don't necessarily subject myself to or care for people having same-sex relationships? I'm a Christian, right? And I don't necessarily care for that. But what you do at home, because I'm abiding by three different things, right? The first thing that I'm abiding by is my Christian principles. That's the way that I live my life, because salvation is individual. But then at the same time, I also have to pay attention to the rules and the ways in which we live life, right? This is America. This is corporate America. And in America, I respect the life that you look to lead when it comes to pursuit of happiness, right? And so what you do in your bedroom don't have anything to do with me. And then on the tail end side, right, the last part of it is I respect your humanity, right? So I may not necessarily agree with you, but it doesn't mean that I don't respect your decisions to do what you want to do, as long as you're not doing anything illegal. And I think that this is a fine line. The closest thing that I've seen happen to this in real life, because she's telling a story about what she did, right? The closest thing that I remember in real life of this happening was when Dave Ramsey fired the black guy, allegedly for having an affair. Now, that kind of sort of makes a little bit more sense, because Dave Ramsey brands himself as a Christian, and it's a Christian-based company, and so it's all based off of lifestyle and all this other type of stuff, right? Which still is a fine line, but when you're talking about being a content creator and a visible face of the company, then your ethics and the morals matter. But then when you're talking about regular everyday employees, it's not the face of the company. It kind of gets a little bit in murky waters. And I think this is a conversation that I want to introduce on After Hours, because I'm not really sure that you can determine whether or not somebody is or isn't wrong. I can introduce more context into the conversation. So I'll give you an example. What if they were in a separation and it was cool? Or what if it was a poly situation or whatever? You see what I'm saying? So I don't know, man. It's just, I don't know, man. It's a difficult thing for me to say yes or no on. I think that every situation is different. The fact that they were employees messing with each other within the company, that probably gives it a little more credence, because you can't have inappropriate relationships. And I automatically, like, one of the rules is you never bust down. You never mix the work with with what you're supposed to be doing. But it's tricky. It's very tricky. I'm definitely going to introduce this conversation into After Hours tonight.
Do you think that they're going to cheat on our clients? Do you think that they're going to have the ethics and morals and judgment to not be so distracted with their own personal ethics situation that they can actually focus and do a good job? That person in any environment is a liability to the environment. It's a complete liability.
Some people have, things in their personal life which are very different to the way that they show up professionally, though. People do all kinds of things in their personal life.
It's terrifying.
Because, listen, the way that I see it is, if I expand the scope of my concerns, I'm going to get fucking nothing done. So if I start, going into who they at home with and in bed with and what's going on in their personal life, unless they bring it to me, obviously, when you're the founder or the CEO, people bring you stuff and they say, look, this is going to impact my work. But, boundary, I don't want to be the government of your fucking personal situations as well. As long as it doesn't show up in the office. If you've ever worked in a startup.
I agree. I mean, I'm in the same mentality. Like, I am not the moral police. If it's not affecting what you got going on at work. And again, I think that the one caveat is probably because they were involved intimately with each other, and that could be a dangerous situation when it comes to maybe special favors, promote, I don't know, anything. But when it comes to it in general, like the general premise and the general idea of people doing what they want to do outside of work, if it didn't happen in work, if it didn't happen in the office, and I understand, I get it, it can be a messy situation. I've seen on a lower level, on a much, much lower level, when you're talking about the plants, you're talking about warehouses, you're talking about sales environments where it can get a little bit messy because, people have inappropriate work relationships. I understand it on a leadership level and perspective, but I don't know. I just can't. I can't quite say that is a fireable offense. I can't quite say that I would have to give somebody their walking papers because they choose to live a lifestyle that I don't necessarily agree with outside of work. It's a tricky situation. Let me know what you guys think inside of the comments. Make sure y'all tap into the Patreon. Link is in the description. Tej Henley, 40% off your first order, 20% off for life. I love you. I appreciate you. I'm going to holler at you guys later. Let me know. I really want to know what y'all thoughts are on this one.